Good afternoon. I'm Chair Will Hornaday, and I'd like to welcome you to the October 2025 Historic Resources Commission meeting. The HRC is a quasi-judicial body that's governed by the North Carolina General Statutes, the City of Asheville Unified Development Ordinance, and the Buncombe County Ordinance. We're authorized to hear requests for certificates of appropriateness for alterations, demolitions, new construction, and other work within historic districts, or for the alteration and demolition of historic landmarks, and other duties, including preliminary review of subdivisions as specified in the ordinance. This is D. I'll now ask commissioners to introduce themselves briefly. Start with Commissioner Bowen.
Hi, just wanted to first say thank you for having me back. I'm really taking a year off, which is just incredible, but also so is watching a flood take over your apartment building and being displaced, equating yourself. So I appreciate y'all for letting me come back. If you ever need a clean bathroom downtown, I have been relocated to a very nice place right across the street from the YMI, so feel free to look me up. We're at Shindig on the Green and don't want to use the porta potty.
That goes for everyone listening in our audience.
I'm Shannon Watkins. I'm a graduate of UNC Asheville and a local real estate broker.
Amy Garst. I have a background in architecture.
Leslie Humphrey. I have a construction company with my husband.
Rob Mays.
Will Hornaday, Albemarle Park.
Sue Oliva, American historian.
Celesta Gorman, interior design.
Cecil Hope. Matt Holloway, I'm the lawyer.
Alex Cole, staff for the HRC.
Thank you all. We'll now consider the minutes from last month's meeting of the HRC. The minutes include findings of facts and conclusions of law. Are there any corrections? Is there a motion to approve the minutes from September 2025?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from September 2025.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll now begin the evidentiary hearings on the items listed on the agenda. As a quasi-judicial proceeding, the HRC is not setting policy, nor are we soliciting public opinion on the desirability of an application. The HRC hears and considers evidence presented and applies the standards set forth in the standards of the specific historic district or landmark for that application. The HRC must make its decision upon competent, material, and substantial evidence to determine the facts of the hearing. The HRC will use judgment and discretion to apply the standards contained in the relevant standards to the facts. The commissioners, in voting for an item, will not have a fixed opinion, not susceptible to change, have a conflict of interest, or have engaged in ex parte communication regarding the application. Rules for speaking. This meeting's open to the public, but participation is limited to interested parties who wish to provide comments, testimony regarding the proposal. If you're going to be speaking as a witness, please focus on the facts and how they relate to the relevant historic district standards, not personal preference or opinion. Witnesses must swear or affirm their testimony. At this time, I'm going to administer an oath for everybody who's planning to speak tonight. And so if you'll just stand and raise your right hand if you're going to be a talker. All right. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the information you present during the hearing for a certificate of appropriateness or preliminary subdivision approval before the Historic Resources Commission shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank y'all. Y'all can sit down. Now I'm going to turn it over to Alex. Talk about our first public hearing item.
Thank you, Chair Hornaday and members of the Commission. Application is for 7 Banbury Cross in Albemarle Park. The address, while it is Banbury Cross, I just want to make sure that if you weren't able to go by and make a site visit, that you understand the wall is actually facing, or is adjacent to Cherokee Road. So it's on the back side of the parcel at 3 Banbury Cross. The application is for replacement of an existing railroad tie constructed wall that had been within the landscape for some time. This little area is used for parking, as you might imagine, and it's my understanding that a couple of months ago the wall was replaced without a CA, and per the Albemarle Park standards, any repair of over 10% of a wall surface is designated as requiring major work review by the commission. We've had this come up one other time on a different property at Albemarle Park. It was a different material. It was a partly stone wall and partly CMU wall. They needed to replace that wall as well, and the commission required it to be stone. That is what is most commonly found in the district. Walls weren't, Samuel Parsons, who designed the landscape, walls weren't really his thing, but when they were necessary to be incorporated, they were typically, if you read the design standards on page 34, mostly stone and pretty low stone walls. Obviously, this wall's been existing for some time. The question is whether or not replacing it with appropriate. The standards do state on page 35 that railroad cross ties or milled pressure-treated woods are not acceptable. And so I did know that as a concern. I don't know if there's a way that the wall could be adequately screened with vegetation. That's another thing that's noted in the standards. That was incorporated even for historic walls in times past. So just putting that out there as one potential way to wall if you all felt like it was okay to leave it. Staff report and questions for me.
Questions for staff?
Don't have a dimension for it. David Leslie might know, but I'm going to guess 5 feet maybe.
Went and saw it. It looked taller than what this picture
But the picture shows.
but
It's a pretty
It's-
decent sized wall, especially for Albemarle Park where there's mostly not tall walls.
There's like a limit on walls, and it's like 4 feet or 5 feet. Whatever it is, it was that height, because 4 foot, was it 4?
requires
Oh, it's not that, it was something in the standards. But it was within the height standards.
Okay, I'll try to track that down. When I sat down, I control F walls in this document because this is one of those documents where it's not all the things you might need to know about walls and not necessarily in the section on walls. So I'll see if I can find what you're referring to.
For Alex?
Sorry, also if I feel like I've got my back to like half of you, it's a little awkward when all of you are here to be talking to everyone at once.
We're sorry.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, let's have the applicant come up and tell us about your project. Stay close. Stay close. Because it
closer.
doesn't really pick up, and it's an AI.
Yeah,
I'm used to
Yeah.
my voice being too loud in rooms, so
Okay, all right.
I'll just, I'm David Leslie. I'm the president of Leslie. I've been back in Asheville for about 20 years. That wall, that up there, I don't think that's walk, but I just noticed that a few of the beams, the cross ties, and needed to be replaced. Wasn't aware that above 10% replaced all the rotten ones. I wish I had a picture of it before. That's what it looked like before. Apologize, we don't. That bad. So anyway, we'd like to do right, so if that, I don't really know how this process works.
Questions for the applicant?
I have one. Was there any vegetation growing over it before?
I could probably, Google Earth, I should have gone Google Earth, because you could have gone. Have a landscaper that.
Where we're kind of in the problem part is that the material and is being so specifically lined out in there, and I understand that, or that's what I see in the standards. So I wonder if there's on that stability wise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock walls should be dry laid, or if mortared, should resemble. Softer wood.
There were some rotten ones, yeah.
Timbers were gone and then replaced. Maybe they were the same ones, but
Yeah, he pulled it all the way down.
Yeah.
He had to get all the rotten boards out. So,
Yeah.
he took it all the way down, took all the rot, I mean, there's rot everywhere. And so he took all of it down and then, not 90%, unfortunately.
I'm looking at Google Earth right now, and I can see all the way back to 2008, you can see that it is size that whole time, 2012, 2016, 2022, you can see them, they look bad. They look really bad in 2022. 2025, obviously you've done the repair, they look nice. They don't look dangerous, they're gonna give way if there's like a flood or some other catastrophic rain event that might cause land to shift. I don't understand, if he's doing a repair, why we need to be involved. If obviously he's just keeping it what it was and what it has been. If we plant ivy on it, that's just going to weaken the integrity of the beams, is it not? So that it has to get done again, like as those roots get into that wood, it's not gonna help it. So I just don't understand necessarily yes, it's a repair, maybe more than 10%, but it's not really something that I feel like.
Couple issues. So one is that there wasn't a certificate of,
The 10%, right.
our job is to mind the guidelines.
I understand. I just also feel like if he's just making it better
I
and
hear
it's
you.
the same, why are we making more work for everybody?
I would just note that references to images, et cetera, that aren't in the record shouldn't be used to.
No extra sleuthing.
Oh, okay, because previously, a year ago, that was not the situation. We constantly look up Google Earth images and bring them up in meetings, and yep, Annie and I definitely did, many
Aren't
times.
supposed to be doing that, so.
I mean, you
Please
can look
don't.
back in all the minutes from previous times, but, okay, then,
You can ask staff to pull it up during the meeting if you.
yeah, I mean, we could definitely do that. Anybody who wanted to, we could show them what this looks like. I just, it looks like he just did a better repair, that's all. I just don't understand why necessarily us.
It's not like, we're not arguing over the understanding of why we're involved. We're involved because there was over 10% of it was repaired. And that's clearly written.
Let's leave our, we'll talk as a commission in a second, but are there any more questions for the applicant? And then we'll.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you have maybe a couple options. One is to problem, down the road, probably with moisture, or to face it. I'm just throwing out ideas. These are not solid. Face it with something which back to us with.
Sorry.
How deep is the park? I don't even think Ivy is in the record.
Virginia creeper.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was 4 or if it was 5 paces, but it was.
I'm just curious if there were.
I think a veneer is a very impractical and not very sustainable solution. I don't think it would hold up. And it would look fake. So I think this at least looks more authentic. It is what it is, and it is what it was.
Yeah,
Just that what you have. If you try to face it with stone, it would just not.
Pay for that.
You could put trellises along the front, vines that grow up into the trellis. Ask your favorite landscaper, but I think
Leslie, are you open to just replacing the wall completely? I mean, we may not be there yet, but.
My gosh.
Oh, that was, I said that
Drifted
was-
away.
I know, well, it's because she was talking to me, so I'm just. The guy who did the work is great. I know that what is there is well-made and well-built. wall's gonna last for 15 years.
Well, I guess in 15 years, definitely come back first.
Yeah. My dad, I mean, this,
Alex, can I ask, I know that technically, I don't know if it was initially like built without a permit or something, just very initially, but since there is this part that says all repair, extension and replacement of existing walls are to utilize the same materials and maintain the same appearance as the original, like, but I guess is that the point is we don't technically know the original versus what was just there?
I think that that is in the intent. That was speaking to, I would say probably this wall was built before the standard. It's not really, if you read anything about the character, drive around over there even, it's not. But I see what you're saying is, yes, I mean, but if David had called me and said, half the wall, I would bring it to the commission anyway. Not necessarily, like, we're trying to correct things over time when there are things consistent
Mr.
with
Leslie.
historic character. I'm not saying that that's what we're, I'm just saying that's typically how we operate. Like if someone's replacing aluminum clad replacement windows in part of their house, we typically, house would say, okay, well then, kind of an example of something that makes sense. You're trying to restore things.
Yeah.
I was curious how long they've owned the property?
Swear you in.
Okay.
No, we can swear you in.
yes, we're.
She can introduce
I
herself.
was talking about the wrong person, building, I'm sorry. We have owned
You're Lynn Leslie.
I also can't hear anything in here. It's so
20 years.
no, 86.
86, many years.
Years. This was, it was the first building. I didn't hear a lot.
Perfect. Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, yeah, go.
Talking about the Manor Inn before. Because they've been there for however long that is, they are now considered historic. but I don't know when this wall parking area,
Yeah, I understand that. I think overall, guidelines speak about, and it was probably pointed at kind of on cutting out for parking should be avoided, Albemarle Park, and then railroad ties. So that's where it's tricky, but I think, let us discuss how we can try and, unless y'all have something else, and then maybe
I think there've been a lot of,
discussion here for a minute. All right,
what do we do now?
y'all just have a seat and then just watch us talk. And then we might call you back up. All right. Is there anybody else here to speak on this matter? All right, well, I'm going to close the floor for public hearing, and commissioners, let's, comments to start with.
I mean, my comment is just that it's a parking area, and it's been there, and I don't know, like, they can't lose their parking. That's not gonna help putting people on the street to park and filling it in. So if it's a repair, and it's the same as it's been for the memory of living people, then I don't know why we need to make a fuss of it. If anything, I would say plant some creeping Jenny on it, you know, and let it be.
On that same theme, not exactly the same maybe, but I do think we have some flexibility because there is this language, all repair, extension, and replacement of existing walls shall utilize the same materials, techniques, and maintain the same appearance as the original. I take Alex's point. That was, you know, with whoever drafted that was probably historic materials, but also this is not a brand new wall that somebody's coming in and up. And it is going back with the same materials. We certainly aren't in a position to buck the standards as they are, but I think something that says probably a stretch under the statute. So, you know, I'm not, well, I'll just say, I think we have some flexibility, and I think it'd be a good place to exercise it because this is the kind of thing, I actually had looked into this in Montford too, because there are several walls like this, houses that are like, well, they're walls that are never going to be replaced if they can't go back with something cheap that way. And so I read the statute to say, if you're going, you know, as long as you're replacing something like for like, I understand there's probably a disagreement on that as reflected in the standard. Statute does talk about architectural details, but I thought from the context it was pretty clear that like for like changes. This is the kind of thing where if you're actually living in the neighborhood, you would rather somebody go in and do something than do nothing and let it continue to deteriorate because the fix is so expensive that it's impractical. I would
Flexibility on, all right, to what type of screening that
Yeah, you're talking, there's a picture of an existing wooden
non-conforming
wall.
materials, which I think this is a is non-conforming the right word?
Incongruous?
Incongruous material. It does say that landscape timber and railroad ties are discouraged. I understand the like for like, and it was enforcing a wall that had failed through decades of water. So if we do follow the standards with a screening form, what would you suggest? Trellis solution?
The trellis idea.
It does say
And
in
it
the
can be, it can also be their decision too.
the standards, it does say, if you look at the background, that in the 80s it was, that retaining walls were introduced in the 70s and 80s, and they were usually constructed of railroad ties. I mean, it says that in the standards.
That's what it's saying is not historically appropriate. That is not within the period of significant.
So when somebody does a repair, we're supposed to force them to take it into a more expensive five-figure repair when it's just a retaining wall for a parking area and not a historic wall for a building. Right. Say that again, I'm sorry.
Last time we had this come up in this neighborhood, part of the wall was stone and
Place with stone instead of concrete.
yeah, in that case, they could do a veneer. But if that's been like probably. That the standards do point to these walls because they were built later outside of what was historically significant time in the district or characteristics. That's why they point to that. I think that these standards could be written. They're a little bit flip-floppy kind of in the way that they're actually like, that part maybe gives you attitude, I don't know.
I know that we're revising some of our standards little by little, just because we have very little time, like Montford, for example, but I look at the part on page 35, discouraged wall forms. Walls of inappropriate material are discouraged, but they will, you can grow things over them to help, it says, as a visual barrier. And if you look at page 35, Mr. Leslie, that might help you get the idea, but of course, use the appropriate vegetation. And I'm thinking that in 15 years, when this wall fails again, that you may be before different people and the standards could be different, but I would read them and go before the commission then, but maybe point and let them just put the vegetation, because we don't know how far that one went back, that last wall.
I'm open to vegetation. I think that I completely understand railroad ties and all that, but I look at possible so that when people come have the same flavor that it guy or somebody can help you figure that out, and then you can that we don't have to say no.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's saying all there that they should.
Right, I agree.
But just so you guys know that on page 50 are 5 different vines. However, English ivy is also, it's noted in that list. Not the direction to go in. There's 4 other options that are noted.
I would encourage also look into the pricing of a stone wall, because you're going to get 75, 100 years out of it, as opposed to 10 to 15 years. Got a capital improvement plan with the property and you're making improvements over time, it might be something you need to add into. No, it's fine.
Commissioner Holt?
I just had some. Is this the front side or is the rear? Okay. About how many spaces roughly? Probably back in the days, you could get twice as many Model Ts in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the rear, okay.
I understand the repair, the need, but I'm probably going to vote no on this based on the previous example in the neighborhood where we were asked to remove CMU block, or to replace CMU block with CMU block, and that was denied by the commission, and I think I'm going to vote against the application as submitted. But I completely understand your point of view, but as I read in more than the percent material that is discouraged, that's kind of how I am seeing it now, and but that's just so you know, my point of view. But there's a lot of support for plants on this wall. Is there any other discussion? Are we ready for someone besides me, probably, to make a motion?
I would make a motion, and please help me if I do this wrong, that we approve the current plan.
No, there's a reader.
All right, well, this is what I would propose, if I did make a
Yeah, yeah.
motion, is that we would approve the current plan with the understanding that one of the 5 vines that is in the Appendix B on page 58 is used to help mask the front of the wall. And let it just be as it is, with the suggestion that you prepare yourself for a 5-figure fix in 15 years and take it up to a historical notch that we would be more in favor of.
Alex, is that something that would go back to you for approval of the plant? Okay.
So what would happen after this is 5 or 6 screening plants. Decide what you want to do, whether it's trellising. But if there's a motion someone's ready to make, we could do that. Half our audience leave.
I can do it.
Rewrite
She's doing it right now.
I think he needs to.
Sorry.
I think he needs to amend his application to add the screening, if you're agreeable to that. So what was proposed, it would just be amending your application to
based on.
Understand, I'm say we're agreeable.
As stated,
and then you can vote on that.
and now, if someone's prepared to make a motion.
I can. Chairman, based upon the evidence presented to this commission, including Exhibit A, application, 5 pages, Exhibit B, project description, Exhibit C, parcel map, Exhibit D, photograph received August 21st, 2025, Exhibit E, email from applicant, 2 pages, received September 2nd, 2025, and the commission's actual inspection and review of the subject property, I move that this commission approve the certificate of appropriateness based on the following. 1, that the application is for after-the-fact approval to replace an existing railroad tie retaining wall adjacent to Cherokee Road with a new railroad tie retaining wall. Vegetative screening from the recommended species list will be planted to screen the wall. All work will be completed in accordance with approved and attached drawings and plans. All permits, variances, or approvals as required by law must be obtained before work may commence. 2, that the standards for walls found on page 34 and 35 and Appendix B, Albemarle Park planting list on page 58 of the Albemarle Park Historic District Landscape Design Standards adopted July 8, 2015, were used to evaluate this request. 3, this application does meet the design standards for the following reasons. Is that, I'm supposed to say that even though it's road cross ties? This application does meet the design standards for the following reasons. Railroad cross ties or milled pressure treated wood are not acceptable materials for
Oh, yeah,
walls.
no, sorry. I guess you'll have to make up.
Does, because we're screening with vegetation from Appendix B. And the replacement of the wall was with existing materials. 4, that the action improvements proposed in the application before us for a certificate of appropriateness are congruous with the special historic character of the Albemarle Park Historic District.
There a second?
Second.
Second from Rob. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
Based upon the foregoing findings and for the reasons set forth therein, I move that a certificate of appropriateness be issued with the following conditions. 1, planting species and plan will be submitted to staff for review and approval.
There a second?
Second.
Oliva, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. The motion passes. Thank you very much, and Alex will get with you on something about the plants. Thank you all very much.
Great, we're going to move over to Montford now for 34 Cumberland Circle. This might be one of my favorite houses in Montford. Structure. So the application includes two buckets of things. One is going to be replacement and modification of some windows, and I'll go through that first. And then there's also a new addition on the rear elevation. This should be pretty straightforward, I think, to go through. So this isn't probably the best picture. I probably didn't pick the best picture to show you, but the front of the structure, it looks like has been altered. If you read the National Register nomination inventory, it also just says altered next to this, which is super helpful. It doesn't say in what way, but it appears that the shed dormer on the front elevation was added at some point, because you can see that it cuts off all the rest of the gable ends have the same as far as like the length of the gable end, and you can see in the little one, the dormer on the right-hand side is cut off by that shed dormer that clearly looks like it wasn't probably there originally. So, and there's also some windows in that space that aren't original in the shed dormer. There are what appear to be 2 original windows within the historic part of that the little gable end dormer. And then on the gable end on the far left, the bigger one, those windows, I think maybe were replacement windows as well. So.
Sorry, where were you pointing? Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, so the upper story windows on the far left-hand side look like they were probably replacement windows. Those are proposed for replacement. If you see, like on the top left, it is the existing, and then bottom right is proposed in my slide deck. And then, so then the dormer windows look like they were for sure not original, and then bottom right is what's proposed, which is similar to the existing casement windows, awning windows. And then in that little upper dormer on the far right-hand side, those windows are also proposed for replacement, but those look like they are probably original to the structure. So my notes are, as far as this elevation, good with replacing the windows that are not original. I think that the openings as far as in that shed dormer look okay to me. But I would say that I think that that stipulate that any windows that are visible from the street should be divided light for replacement windows. Because if you look at, this house actually has a good example. I like to think of the building, it's not a Montford, but the corner of Woodfin and Broadway. That building has a bunch of really awesome original steel windows and then a bunch of really crummy modern windows, and it's really easy to tell the difference. So this house, if you look at that the little bay towards the porch there, those windows appear to not be original, and it's hard unless you zoom into the picture, which I'm happy to do. I can pull up the actual photo. It looks like those are, you can tell the difference basically in terms of the grille profile. So I think it's important to stipulate that windows in particular, new windows on a front elevation or on a side elevation where they're visible from the street, should be true divided light. So I noted that in my staff report. Let me pull up the picture just so I can show you. You can see if you're comparing the upper story windows, which have the grills, and the ones in the 4 or 5 on the bottom left there have more of like an applied grill pattern. So it's really noticeable. And I don't think that is something we should allow for new windows. So that's
Changing, right?
no, those windows aren't changing.
Right.
Sorry, thank you for clarifying. I'm just
And you
using
back
those
down.
as an example. Okay, so moving to that side elevation on the upper story, they are proposing to modify the window openings on that upper story, remove one window entirely. I do have concerns about this. I don't think that that is appropriate to modify all of those openings, and I think those windows should be retained and preserved. And same thing on the other side. I think that those windows on the upper story should also be retained and preserved. And then
The farther, okay.
Go back, if you would, to the.
there's on the top left, there's 3 on the upper story. Yeah, on the other side, there's a weird little, it's kind of hard to see in the photograph, but there's like a weird little opening that's a little farther back, but it's basically 3 on each side.
Yeah.
That's okay. I had to flip back and forth a bunch to make sure I was understanding what the differences were. And I would just point out too that I don't have a concern with them filling in the opening that's farthest back on this elevation, on the top left. Because it's hard to even tell what that is. I don't think that probably would have been original the way it like punctuates between the floors. But I'll let the applicant speak to that. But I didn't take any issue with that. It's more so just trying to maintain the existing openings and retain the existing original windows as well. And then the last part of this application, as I noted, is modifications to the rear elevation. They are trying to accommodate some additional interior space. And so they are going to modify the existing dormer and then also add a second story addition. There's a little L that comes off the structure now that you can see in the photograph. And they're just going to build the new addition on top of that little part of the building. So I've not noted any concerns on this scope of work for the rear elevation. Questions for me?
I've got a question for you. On the east elevations, the new window openings are going to be larger on that second floor for every window. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right?
Talking about the front elevation?
The east, yeah, the front. Yeah, they're larger in the drawings, but they're not larger, they're not, we'll get you in a second, but that's not anything that's, it could just be a,
They look bigger to me, but I don't think there's any issue with them. I mean, I think that the windows as they're proposing them are more compatible with the structure than what's there now, for sure.
I couldn't see those top, the ones on the east elevation inside the dormer, were those original, inside the gable?
That's what I was saying before, that those appear to be original to me, and I don't think that those should be replaced.
Okay,
That was one of my notes.
All
If you,
right.
it's like pretty hard to tell from the drawing, but if you, like, they've got the windows have that weird upper, the divided lights in the upper,
Yeah.
and all the little windows have that too. So I think those are consistent with what's on the back of the house as well, that's in that little gable and
Those-
dormer, so.
and the windows on the back of the house are original, with wavy glass, on the west elevation, on the second floor.
Right.
And those are not being reused anywhere, those are just coming out and being replaced, correct?
I think they're being reused, and then they're just like taking the one out, the one on the upper story on the right-hand side, the little double hung.
Oh. And
And then there'll
scooting
be
it
a new
over.
window there.
Okay, so only one window is not getting reused there on the west
I
elevation?
believe so, just that one little one that's tucked up on the right-hand side.
Okay. Are any of the windows getting reused on the north elevation on that extension off the back of the house?
That's a good question.
It's just one window.
So many
Well,
windows, I think, you mean the one that's
let's
like
just
getting,
stay on the
coming,
second floor.
coming
Yeah.
off the second story. I think maybe they're reusing that little small window on the new addition.
Okay, we'll ask when they come up. And the the first floor windows, no changes on those,
No.
on the north elevation. Okay. Gracias. Any other questions for Alex? All right, now we'll call y'all up to tell us about your project.
I'm Jessica Larson.
Stay close to the microphone because it's real hard to pick it up and then it's,
Yeah. I'm Jessica with CGEM Designs. I'm the architect on this project. And Alex said it's just a renovation to the second floor. Get much more cohesive and functional for the family. Bedrooms, 2 baths, and a laundry upstairs. Currently, there's 2, it's separated into 2 separate living units. This house used to be a 3-unit house, so the second floor is very segregated. It's very piecemealed, so we're trying to make the flow nicer. So primarily, there's a lot of interior work, and the only exterior work will be removing that staircase in the back that you saw on the west elevation and modifying and/or restoring the second floor windows. The east, sorry, there's that addition, small little addition, so that we can create a better primary bedroom suite In looking at the east elevation, like Alex said, there's 5 windows on the second floor that are going to be modified at some point. So the 2 on the left are currently vinyl windows, not original whatsoever. We would like to replace those 2 windows to match the 2 windows on the opposite gable end on that elevation. So they have a matching sort of aesthetic character of the house. If we talk about the 2 on the right side of the elevation, those are existing to the house, so we would like to just restore those. They're currently not very functional, so we would like to,
The 2 on the right under the gabled roof
yes,
on the east elevation.
elevation.
Okay? So you're going to reuse
So
those
we're just going to
2.
keep those, restore them, and make them functional again. And the 3 in the middle, they're just basic fixed, or not fixed, they're basic clear casement windows. That area right there, we propose it to be in a bedroom space. So we would like to replace those 3 windows for 3 reasons. One, we would like to, it's going to be in a bedroom, so you did see that it did look a little bigger. It's because to get egress requirements, it just needs to be 6 inches taller. So to create that more of as a bedroom space, we need it to be a bigger window. We also would like to, because it's in a bedroom, those 3 are separated so much, they looked a little awkward in the bedroom space. So we want to gang them together to make it more intentional in the room. And then also, because those 3 are not really aesthetically appropriate for the character of the house, we would like to bring it and restore these new windows more matching with the aesthetic character. On this elevation,
Elevation?
this is the north elevation. Just a correction, those window, there's nothing going to be restored or altered on the first floor, but just a side note, that bay window that Alex was talking about, those actually are, the owners got them restored just recently, and they've been, I mean, maybe they were adjusted at one point, like a long, long time ago, but they're still the single pane. But they are all restored and they look beautiful inside. But anyway, so this is the side that shows the side part of the new elevation, or the new addition to the primary bedroom suite. My thought was there's the 2 bigger windows that are right under the main gable. That's going to be the primary bedroom suite, and to make it more, those 2 windows more centered in the space and also centered in the gable, the left window is just slightly moved over, and those 2 are going to stay original but just restored.
Right window to the bracket is not moving and staying where it is?
Those 2 bigger windows, this one and this one.
That one stays where it is?
This one stays as it is.
Has that same,
This one just gets adjusted like 12 inches, just slid over 12 inches, so it's like centered within the room and also within the gable, because it's off center. This one right here, my proposal is just to reuse that shift it over into the new addition. So it's the same window, just shifted over and restored.
No, the 2 bigger ones in the existing.
Oh, maybe it's just because it's on it's dashed line. Those two are really, the intention is to keep those windows. I mean, they're just going to be
Just
restored.
scooching one over
Scooching one over to align more.
and scooching one a lot.
And then really scooching one over.
Okay, that takes care of
And
that
then
floor.
also bringing it up to like a consistent head height too. One is really not, it's right under the roof line. Back, or no, sorry. This one, these two are gonna stay in the same location, it's just gonna be restored. I think it's the dashed line. Out demo modified. It looks different, or maybe the scale is off, but anyway, these are the same windows. We're keeping those as is, just restoring them. This one, it's a panel. It's just a panel that's been painted. It's not even a window, and it's behind a space that no one really can get to. So we would like to just make it look nicer from the outside.
Hold on for just a second, I was shifting around. What about the top floor on those top two windows? What are you doing on those?
Two,
Yeah,
restoring them.
okay. Everything else stays the same on that? Okay.
And then finally, this, the back elevation, we're taking out the metal stair and porch. Removing the door that's there, keeping these 4 windows, just restoring them. And then we're removing this one. And then just adding a window that matches these 4 that are bathroom. We're extending the shed roof over so that there's enough headroom in the bathroom. And then finally, the addition in the primary bedroom suite. They're brand new windows that are going to be character of the house. They will look like these existing, these
Divided glass.
divided lights,
Real
yeah.
divided
Yes.
glass. Is that what your question was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
wood windows, all of them.
You're reusing that door and pushing it out to that bump out.
Door is completely removed. No more door or exterior access to the second floor.
Downstairs.
Oh, this is all, the addition will just align to that, to the
Oh, that's not pushing.
No.
Okay, I didn't know, okay. Thank you for walking us through that. Any questions is there anything else you wanted to say? All right, any questions for the applicant?
I have questions. So you're having to have custom windows made? That's not a standard, I mean,
That's the one in the back will be, or yes, and then
are you having Logan do that, or can you order those from anywhere?
I can introduce yourself.
Did we swear you in?
He'll need to be sworn.
Oh, man.
I told him to stand up.
I don't even know where to find it. Okay, I found it. You solemnly swear or affirm that the information you present during this hearing for a certificate of appropriateness or preliminary subdivision approval before the Historic Resources Commission about the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. All right.
The gentleman I'm using has done a lot of window replacement in Montford, so him and I have kind of went over it.
I was just curious who the manufacturer is.
I think,
Sierra
I
Pacific.
looked at Sierra Pacific has TDL windows, so that's what I assumed you guys would go with, but,
What the specs say.
well, they
he
make,
updated the
they
specs
make
on the
both
other one.
simulated divided lights and true divided lights.
We're okay, I mean, as far as you're concerned, either one is okay.
No, what I was saying before is I don't think simulated divided lights on a front elevation in particular, side elevation where they're super visible. If you've got a mix of divided light windows, you're going to be at risk. But I think simulated divided light on the back is okay.
But as is, there's no proposal for. Then other than, I mean, as I understood it, up in this dormer, your professional opinion that dormer is not. Yeah. Yeah, not
But
sure.
there's always been bedrooms up there. Bedrooms and bath.
Like if that were original, whatever windows would have been within it, with the existing windows. And it's not that typical for a National Register nomination to include altered. I haven't seen that very much. So my theory, I can't travel back in time to 1970, that they probably wouldn't have noted it if I hadn't been on the front elevation or on.
Might also have been more altered back then. There may have been, because I know several people.
I think, I mean, because I doubt when they first built this house that and this area right here that's where the kitchen is, and so maybe it just to get some headroom in that.
You think it was originally a bedroom up there? Oh, well, let's just forget about the shed roof, that space behind it before it was a kitchen. Bedroom. And you have a life safety concern, and that's the reason for changing the size of those windows? That's code, like, it's a bedroom, it has to have a egress window?
Those are non-original windows. I don't think there's a big hang-up on those. Oh, I don't see all the windows that are original or either are getting reused or being repaired the way I'm seeing the application. I think it, yeah.
So before somebody makes.
No, we're not making any motions. We're going to talk slow. I want to hear from it. I want to hear more. Does anybody have any other questions for the applicant? Then we're going to open it to the public after that. Never know. They could be waiting.
They could be lying in wait.
Any of these other window changes related to like
Well, I think y'all can sit down. I'm going to ask if anybody else is here to speak. Seeing none, I'm going to close the floor for public. If y'all are done, I'm going to close it. Any commissioner cross-talking? Good. I couldn't find those front windows on the first floor. not in the drawing is a tree, a bush that's, not mad. Okay. Rambling. The motion, or are we still waiting a minute?
Are there, I'm sorry, I think I missed this, or partly heard part of it. The windows in the dormer on the back, are those being reused or are those new windows? Okay.
They're being reused, right? Those, the long line of them? On the second floor, west elevation, those are coming out and not being reused?
In the shed dormer.
Yeah, I thought, yeah, and that other one's being moved over. Right? You're getting one more to match it. The 4. Those collapse into the wall. That's pretty freaking neat. Is the new one going to collapse into the wall?
I'm thinking about, we had one a few months ago. Side elevation that was pretty visible. Bathroom there. Yeah. And we didn't take a vote on that, but I think indicated that
Talking about the north elevation?
yeah, I'm talking about, yeah, that window and also the moving of the other windows. Windows on the second floor on the north elevation. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that, let's just say that part of what makes this house unique to me, symmetry, yeah. I mean, that main window on the front facade is off-center of that tower. And I don't know what you call that, the windows that are, you know, in weird, really compelling reason.
Usage?
But it's twofold.
Here to the right, by the time we do this addition, smaller windows like sitting right here. Because right now, the way the slope is coming down for the bathroom, literally they got that much. That's why we're opening it up, so that window's odd little.
Yeah. And those are all over the neighborhood, weird windows in closets and dormers and, you know.
I agree with Commissioner May. Front, unless there's, and it looks like that's,
Where? Oh, in the bathroom? Well,
The left
that's this
window.
room.
of the little,
Are there other commissioners who want to discuss the north elevation, second floor windows, 1 foot or so, and 1 completely deleting? And
I don't
moving it
think-
over.
Yeah, I don't think they're deleting it, but, I mean, yeah, like what Robert was saying, like unless there's a reason more compelling than just making symmetry, I think leaving the windows where they're at, the two windows. I think I'm fine if they move the smaller one to the addition because it feels like it's almost extending, but the front two windows, I believe.
Not moving, the one on the left is proposed to move, and the one on the right. So it would just be moving one window, and second commissioner talking about leaving windows where they are. Comments on the, from the commission? So is that, let me reopen the floor. Let me ask you let me ask just a quick question of you. Are you open to amending your application to 3 windows on the second floor on the north, where they are, and then adding another window on your?
The two, like leaving the two windows and then having the one move?
Yeah, leaving the windows as they are in place, and then adding another one on the addition. What I'm hearing from the commission.
Because one of these was going to be reused.
It was sliding down to here.
Are you asking if I'm okay with that?
Uh-huh.
I would be okay with these two staying as is and just shifting this one over as originally I did.
Left it there, does it interfere with the?
I mean,
Take out the
there's a closet right there. I mean, I guess I could put a wall over top of it, so it'd just be a fake window on the outside. That'd be fine.
Done that before.
I think it's fine for me personally if it moves with the extension of the back elevation, or with the back addition. A front two where they are placed currently.
Can I ask, what are we looking at as a exterior material?
A wood
Okay,
shake.
so
material.
if you do move them, you have to patch in and you have to fix all that.
Well,
Negative effect to that, or how would that look?
Well, that new addition on the second floor will all be new shake anyways. Yeah, we'll patch
It'll
it
look-
back
it'll
and
look
all
good.
look cohesive, yeah, in the end.
Removing all the shake from the second floor?
No, sorry.
Where the window?
The new addition that's going, yeah, anything that's being removed or moved, patch it.
Commissioner Mays, what do you, is there a feeling from the response from the applicant on leaving the left window and moving the far right window? That's going to be in a closet, is either going to be deadened or moved?
I mean, I think that's the kind of idiosyncratic thing that makes those windows. So I'm kind of attached to it, but if enough to kind of pay homage to it out there on the new addition.
If we left that third smaller window, would you still add a fourth window then to the new extension? That's kind of where I'm sitting. Leave the windows alone, sorry, as much as possible, unless you're just making them, replacing old ones that aren't original. But I would leave all three of those windows and just add a fourth.
Alex, can you explain why they can't move the windows? I think I'm leaning towards them being able to move the window, but I need some
Which window?
technical, the one on the
The one that's in the
left.
closet that's going to go to the
Yes.
bathroom. So
Yeah.
leaving two, but moving, or leaving, okay.
Asking about all of them, or are you,
Just talking about
He's
from a
asking if
technical
there's a tech-
standpoint.
If there's,
not a technical reason, it's the reason trying to maintain the historic character of the structure and the existing part of what's character defining about the structure. So the standards
485?
that changing, adding or changing not the norm for the commission to just let people move windows.
Sure.
It also specifies for functional and decorative reasons.
Right, I think it's
Covers
trying to kind
where
of
we squirm.
strike a balance, but at the same time, like, usually we're talking about it for like countertop height, that's come up plenty of times where there's a double hung window. I don't think a compelling the asymmetry and kind of the structure is part of what. I personally do not have a strong opinion about the little window moving, but the other two, I think.
One of those is moving, but their relationship.
I feel better about windows moving because they are the original windows.
They are the what?
Original windows, and they are restored. So the material change is, there is. But I understand what Alex is saying in terms of location, and the location is much a part of the structure is not, as anything. But the fact that they are using the original windows makes me feel better about them being able to move.
Add a fourth one. That one would, I imagine, would also be kind of a wonky placement, because you said the small one is low. And so you add a fourth small, or the fourth one is a second small one. Low to match, or does it go up higher? Is it like,
Up.
Regardless of if I get to shift the window over or we have to put a fourth window on, that window, it's in the shower and it'll be up at the same head height.
Try to like,
Yeah.
you don't need to spend an hour on this. Like, can we just get like who's wants to keep
So
the
what
windows
we're-
as is, and who wants or is okay with moving them?
Leaving the window, the bank of three windows on the second floor on the north elevation as is, and adding a fourth is something I've heard, and also leaving the rightest window further right onto the addition is another option I've heard. And you're fine with either of them because you're just going to kill the window in the closet or add another window?
I'm just trying to be clear, because I'm kind of confused on what, just briefly summarize what you're proposing?
You want me to summarize per each elevation?
No,
windows, what
just
we've
that
been
north
talking
elevation,
about.
I think.
Yeah,
The windows we're talking about.
Bottom
I know, but
elevation.
I feel like
North. North.
each elevation is different. So on the north elevation, there's two proposals out, I guess, right now. My proposal would be to,
Your amended proposal, because you're, okay, sorry.
I think he's
I'm just-
asking what she was originally proposing, so.
Oh,
my original proposal was to keep and restore all three of those windows, but shift this window right here over 12 inches so it's centered and aligned inside the space and out. And then shift this little window over to the addition.
that improves the function of the interior.
I think so.
So explain again the window on the left. If you do not move that, what is on the inside of that?
It's a bedroom,
Okay,
and
but it's not,
just not the
just not
windows,
centered, but it's,
it still
you
stays.
can design around it and it's still, okay.
Norman, any thoughts on this to help them kind of understand where the commission is on that bank of windows?
I wouldn't say that I am more one way or the other. I do think that the front two windows need to stay as is. The small window, I'm personally inclined to let them move it for the reason Bill brought up about, if they're going to be adding one on this same plane, it being the historic window versus a new window that would be purchased. But I also can agree that there is character in where they are placed right now. I'm not really helping because I'm not saying one way or the
How
other.
about, can we just take a straw poll here? Because we've spent a lot of time on this already. Like, are we,
So who's in favor of her proposal of removing the closet now window down, leaving and moving the other window?
how about
well,
we call them A, B, and C?
A,
Jessica's original
yep,
front two windows staying the same, and the little window moving, and C, all three of the windows stays the same.
and we add a fourth. Okay.
Gonna vote A, B, C?
B or C?
Okay, A.
Applicant's proposal. Okay?
B.
A or C?
What?
Okay, A.
Commissioner Mays? Nice.
A.
Where this commission is going. So would you like to amend your application to C, which is deadening the windows, and adding a fourth? Probably say something official.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions for the applicant, or any other questions amongst the commission? Maybe we'll entertain a motion as staff types away.
Chairman, based upon the evidence presented to this commission, including, I'm making sure I'm on the right. Exhibit A, application 2 pages. Exhibit B, project description. Exhibit C, owner's affidavit. Exhibit D, site plan, floor plans, and elevation drawings 10 pages. Exhibit E, manufacturer specifications, 10 pages. Exhibit F, photographs, 3 pages, and the commission's actual inspection and review of the subject property by all members. I move that this commission approve the certificate of appropriateness based on the following. 1, that the application is for replacement of 5 non-original windows on front elevation with new all-wood TDL multi-light awning windows, restoration of 2 original wood multi-light casement windows on front elevation with new all-wood TDL multi-light. Okay, removal of 1 original window on north elevation and reuse on, oh. Restoration of 3 windows on north elevation and addition of 1 new,
You don't have to say, the language.
okay. Removal of 1 non-original opening on south elevation and restoration of wood siding, trim, and 2 original wood windows. Modifications to rear elevation, including removal of existing non-original stairway and door and construction of a second-story addition above existing 1-story L with wood lap siding, shake siding, trim, wood TDL windows, and asphalt shingle roof matching existing. Restoration of 4 original windows, removal of 1 original wood double-hung window, and installation of 1 new wood TDL window on upper story dormer. Restoration of wood siding and trim. All work will be completed in accordance with approved and attached drawings and plans. All permits, variances, or approvals as required by law must be obtained before work may commence. 2, that the standards for windows and doors found on pages 84, 85, materials wood on pages 66, 67, and additions on pages 88 and 89 of the Montford Historic District Design Review Standards, adopted April 14, 2010, and amended December 14, 2016, were used to evaluate this request. This application does meet the design standards for the following reasons. A, existing original windows are being retained and preserved. B, new window units will be wood and will be compatible with the original openings and the historic character of the building. C, new siding and trim will be wood and match existing in design, dimension, detail, material, and texture. D, new addition is cited as inconspicuously as possible on the rear elevation and where historic character defining features are not damaged, destroyed, or obscured. E, design of new addition is compatible with the existing building in height, massing, roof form, and pitch. F, new addition will be constructed on top of an existing rear L and will be limited in scale and size. G, windows in the new addition are similar to existing windows in their proportion, spacing, and materials. H, exterior surface materials on new addition will match existing. 4, that the action and improvements proposed in the application before us for a certificate of appropriateness are congruous with the special historic character of the Montford Historic District.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Based upon the foregoing findings and for the reasons set forth therein, I move that a certificate of appropriateness be issued with the following conditions. 1, revised window specifications will be submitted for staff review and approval. 2, existing double-hung window being removed on the rear elevation will be retained and preserved on site.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Carries. Thank y'all so much for working with us on that and being so flexible.
I'll follow up with you. Couple of old business items. Update you all that the Biltmore Village Small Business Infrastructure Grant that we've that our grant application was submitted last Friday. Hooray. So the grant amount that we applied for is just under $2.5 million. And as a reminder, that is for, the grant money is programs under the North Carolina Department of Commerce, and the money is specifically for infrastructure repairs from Helene for in areas that have a high number of small businesses. And we estimated there were probably about 50 small businesses in Biltmore. Our goal, if we get this money, is to sidewalks and street trees. There also is a side project to that we aren't managing, but our transportation department is managing for sites. That's being covered by FEMA public assistance money because yay money, but so stay tuned. The cycle of grant awards closes October, or grant applications closes October 31st. So we hope to know sometime back to you with that. If we do get the funding, we will turn the project over to our capital projects department. I'm not a capital projects person, so they will be the project lead. Our CLG grant that we were awarded pre-Helene for, also the state gave us an extension those funds until the end of May, and so we are going to take them up on the offer and try to plan something for the spring. We were trying to plan something for holidays this year, and while thanks to Drew and others we did make some progress, we felt like there's too many recovery-related things going on right now for us to really plan an event that will, hopefully stay tuned on that. We're just kind of press and pause for a minute, and we'll pivot back at the beginning of the year. So those are my updates.
The commissioners have,
Oh, right, sorry, I should have put that on here. Our work session, our special work session for consideration of Montford design standards is on 9 o'clock. That is a reminder, we had scheduled that meeting before Helene, actually, and the purpose of that meeting is after we received some proposed a few neighborhood residents, we took those amendments, and the executive committee worked on them for about 4 months, maybe, analyzing them against standards. That analysis is what we had planned to present. Haven't had a chance to pivot back to that until now, so that is what the purpose is for that meeting on the 21st. That will be available for the public to watch via our live stream, but we aren't taking public comment at that meeting. It will just be an opportunity for us to put together, and then an opportunity for you all to ask questions, offer thoughts, whatever, ask for additional information. And then if we need to go back to have a follow-up meeting with the executive committee and do another round of that, we can certainly do that. But our goal is to hopefully, next step, go to the community ourselves in terms of like what the analysis told us, and then or if we needed to. Once we're ready, the amendments will in a public hearing where there will be opportunity, of course, for public comment through our engagement process. But once you guys it's before you, that will certainly be a meeting.
So is that like over the next 12 months, 6 months after this 21st meeting? What's the timeline, kind of?
everything seems to take longer than we would hope. We commit to attending for neighborhood association meeting. What our timeline looks like for this meeting, and then together with our communications staff. And then once we have that laid out, we should be in a position by talk to them about that and kind of share out on information. And we'll probably do a couple of engagement. Try to do our own, like, talk to us kind of thing. Probably do our own survey as well. So it's a good question, but I think it's probably going to take us at least how slow things can be, and also too considering what our communications staff.
Three.
Count. They all have like 8 million sub-projects, though.
Yeah,
It's
they're like projects within projects.
Yeah, so,
Will something come out before that meeting? I actually have court during that meeting.
yeah, I'm going to share, I had drafted a memo last time around that I'd shared out with links to the standards in the other cities that we looked at and all of that information. So I just need to make sure it's up to date and everything, and so I should be able to get that out to you all early next week sometime. So stay tuned. You'll have all the info to feel prepped and informed.
All four. All four.
Yeah, you won't be making any decisions at the 21st meeting. It'll,
The discussion.
and if you have differing, I mean, we're presenting factual information in terms of our comparison of our standards to other standards. So, and best practice and preservation. That's kind of where this, but that does not mean that you can't question, anything or anything like that.
Not at that meeting.
No, that's what that meeting is for. The 21st is just for you guys to hear this information and discuss it. No, that's okay. We wanted to do the work session because we feel like it's important for us to be able to have a discussion without having, because if we open the floodgates to public comment, it's not really a practical approach to take right out of the gate. We need to have a work hashed out and there feel like there's consensus among, that's the goal, Yeah, because we don't want to go out to the neighborhood either with stuff that you all are feeling conflicted about. I'm not saying that we'll have it necessarily all ironed out and everyone fully on the same page. I mean, maybe we can, I don't know. But anyways, that's the goal, is just to kind of
Comments from the public? No. Any other comments from commissioners?
Homes is this weekend, October 11th and 12th, and October 18th and 19th, 11 to 5. It's a great time to see builders and architects
And tomorrow, October 9th, at the West Asheville Library, Priscilla Robinson is screening the second part of her film about urban renewal. West Asheville Library at 7. So at 5:45, does somebody want to make a motion to close?
Make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Y'all next month.
I know, Well, not traveling the world. I just went
Pain
to the
and
national.
discomfort?
In
No.
September, I was at the national park. I went to Arches and the other one, and I did get, like, in September,